Oh, Resident Evil 2, you are the gift that just keeps on giving. So, we're taking a quick look at Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64. Now, I mentioned several times during the playthrough that this was the first version of Resident Evil 2 that I played, and as a result, it kind of colored my perception and memories of Resident Evil 2. In no small part because there are special files that are only available in this version of the game. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. I'm going to very quickly go through the game and go to each special file that appears only in the N64 version and let you guys take a look at it. So I'll be right back when we get to our first note. Our first extra note is right here in Kendo's gun shop, right on the counter here. Now, poor Kendo has already been killed by the zombies and I have his shotgun. I'm playing as Leon in the first scenario because this is going to make it a little easier later in the game to get all of the extra notes, because some notes only appear in scenario A and some only appear in scenario B. Alright, file 4 of 16, Robert's note. How could this have happened, Barry? The town's been overrun by zombies and has literally become a nightmare on Earth. As you know, my concern for this town is as great as your own. I have waited for your arrival on the assumption you were still in the area. The threat of my shop being overwhelmed by zombies has become too great. I've already distributed the majority of weapons and ammo to the town's survivors, including the Raging Bull you special ordered. I hope you understand given the circumstances. At any rate, I have no intention of pointlessly sacrificing my life, and will be retreating to Stoneville. If you get this message, meet me there. We'll go fishing. Robert Kendo. Well, unfortunately, it seems like Robert didn't get to go fishing with Barry. The next note isn't too far from the first note we found, and it's here in this briefcase on the crashed bus that we find on the way to the police station. Now, I may have tried checking this during the course of the Let's Play, thinking it was here. File 5 of 16, Dario's note. I can't help but wonder if anyone will read these words, but writing them will help me maintain my sanity if nothing else. After I become a meal for these undead monsters, will the GIs responsible for sealing off the town laugh upon discovering my corpse? So is this how it's supposed to end? I don't want to die. I'm just not ready. My wife, daughter, mother, my entire family has been killed. None of that matters anymore. Right now, my life is the only important thing. That's all that matters. I never would have pictured my end to be like this. I had so much left to do. Rather than becoming a salesman, I should have tried my hand at being a novelist. It's what I've always wanted, but my mother would only tell me, you have a long way to go. Why did I ever listen to her? But this looks like the end for the great Dario Ros, novelist extraordinaire, cut down before his prime. Now, this note we would actually later find in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and if you saw my playthrough of that, we did find that note. This will happen a couple of times during the course of the game. Some of the extra notes that we find in Resident Evil 2 are notes that would be used in future games. The next file is here on Jill's desk in the STARS office. We can see that Claire has made it here too. 8 of 16, Jill's note. It all began as an ordinary day in September. An ordinary day in Raccoon City, a city controlled by Umbrella. No one dared to oppose them. That and the lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions, but there would be no forgiveness. If only they had the courage to fight. But it's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing. It was Raccoon's last chance, and my last chance, my last escape. Yeah, that's some more dialogue from Resident Evil 3. That's the opening monologue that Jill gives when you start the game. Now we're in the evidence room, and we're going to take a look at our next note. I'm almost positive that I was looking for this note while I was playing. 1 of 16, Jill's report. July 24th, 1998, Raccoon Forest. The following documents were obtained at a sanctuarium owned by Umbrella Corp. Umbrella Bioorganic Weapon Publicity Material. Development Code MA39 the Cerberus, MA121 the Hunter, FI3 Neptune, and T002 the Tyrant. In addition to the above, it is believed that several other Bao were created by means of accidental infection. During the course of the test, it was discovered that the contagion is not limited to human beings and may pose a hazardous risk to plants and animal life forms. Effective means of controlling this contagion have not yet been found. Raccoon City Police Department stars Alpha Team Jill Valentine. Our next note is up here on the second level of the library, and it is 16 of 16, the Raccoon City pamphlet. City Guide number 12, a brief look. Hello and welcome to Raccoon City. You will notice our city is a clean and private town dedicated to families. Raccoon City has partnered with our friends of Umbrella Incorporated in order to generate unprecedented growth and stability. Umbrella Inc. is a highly regarded and well-funded corporation that cares about its employees. They have helped create many public facilities to make this city a safer place for everyone. We look to the future. As we look to the future, I will continue to support Umbrella in terms of new business developments. Please enjoy your stay in my lovely city. Thank you. Michael Warren, the Raccoon City Mayor. So we're now in the offices, and we're going to take a look at our next note, if Leon wants to pick it up. 7 of 16, David's letter. My sanity is at its end. I still can't believe this is happening. We lost another man yesterday, Myers, one of our better marksmen. He saw me panic once we were overrun by the zombies, but he came back to save me. But when the time came to return the dead, I ran. I can still hear him calling out my name. I can still hear the screams coming from behind. The sound of his flesh being stripped from its bones. I was afraid, terrified. It's the 27th. The fight to stay alive continues. I took out several zombies who managed to break through the barricades. Now I'm cutting through the chill with whiskey, unloading my Moseberg on anything undead. That shotgun has become a close friend of mine. I've blasted many a zombie in a fertilizer with it. We've lost 13 men as of yesterday. In 3 hours. We'll bicker over trivial things in the meeting room. It's a total waste of time. When I finish this bottle, my friend Moseberg will be turning one last body into fertilizer. Peace at last. I can hardly wait. Now that was another note that we read in Resident Evil 3. I think Jill found that. Not sure which room it was. Maybe the photo development room. Now we are in the interrogation room, and we're going to get our next note. At least I hope we are. File 12 of 16, Journalist's Note. As I write this, my hands shake with both anger and fear. The civilians of the town have been blockaded by the military. And though I sigh for the survivors of the town, I still feel that it's the best decision. They cannot take the chance of the disease spreading any further. I'm going to make it my top priority to discover what caused this incredibly dangerous incident. So far, I have only found out that the disease is not airborne. Now we are going to get the last extra note in Scenario A. We're over here in the experiment room. Go on, Leon, you can pick that up. You don't want the first aid spray, but we're going to take it anyways. File 11 of 16, Umbrella Memo. Dear Dr. Bergen, it has come to my attention that we are currently experiencing a shortage of APL14. To counteract this problem, I am asking you and several other labs to donate 5 cases of APL14 to our facility immediately. For your information, we have discovered that our base in the South Pole is primarily responsible for this shortage. We are currently taking steps to prevent this from happening in the future, and don't worry, the Ashford's reputation is now irreparably tarnished. Your quick response is greatly appreciated. Regards, Joel Ullman, Vice President, USA Branch, September 15th. So this would be our first exposure to a, South Pole base, and our first reference to the Ashfords, which we'll hear more about in a future game. Now, like I said, that is it for the Scenario A memos. I will see you again when we get to Scenario B, and have Claire collect the memos. So now we're playing as Claire Redfield here, and her first note is even earlier than the one we got in Scenario A. It's right here on this hot dog stand on the road just outside the police station. File 6 of 16, Mercenaries Log. September 1st. Following 6 months of intensive training, my body's edge has returned. I was a good soldier, but they ordered my execution with no reason given. I was tortured and forced to give a false confession. But on the morning of my execution, a miracle happened. The company had helped me out, giving me a second lease on life. September 15th. I ended my vacation short and returned to the headquarters office. It looks my UBCS unit's been called into action. Umbrella maintains its own paramilitary unit to counter corporate terrorism and VIP abduction. In addition, they have nightmen who specialize in handling problems caused by illegal products. I am currently a member of the latter. September 28th. Dawn's here, but we're still slogging through this nightmare. There are no provisions of any kind here. The undead walk the streets feeding upon the flesh of the living. Given the choice, I would rather have been executed. Death row was a heavenly asylum compared to this place. I've chosen to pull the trigger on myself in the hope that my dead body won't come back to life. So yeah, that's another note that we would find in Resident Evil 3. We'd find that on one of the dead mercenaries. Well, here is our next note, and it is in front of the police station, down in that little walkway where we would have met Brad. In fact, it's file 10 of 16, Brad's note. No, it's that monster in the black suit again. Why does that thing keep chasing me? What did I do? It's be someone's sick idea of a joke. If I knew things were going to end up like this, I would have left Star's team a long time ago. Ronnie won't help me now. I know I'm finished. Oh, my hometown in Delusa. But the flowers are in bloom. If I could only see them once more before I die. Brad Vickers. Yeah, poor Brad. We are back in the Star's office, and we are in front of Rebecca's desk. And we're going to pick up our next file. 9 of 16, Rebecca's report. On July 23rd, an MP vehicle was found inside the Arkley Mountains. Corpses of MP members and an unidentified body were found near the vehicle. According to information from the military authorities, the unidentified body was identified as former ensign Billy Cohen, who was sentenced the death penalty following a court-martial on July 22nd. While Cohen was on transfer via Navy MP escort, they must have experienced some sort of accident. The corpses were severely mauled, apparently torn apart by unidentified wild animals. The following day, we returned to the location to recover the bodies, but they were nowhere to be found. Military authorities requested that we hand over Cohen's body as proof of his death, but due to the circumstances described above, it will be a difficult task to recover the corpses. I'm requesting that this case be temporarily closed until further notice. Raccoon City Police Department Stars Alpha Team member Rebecca Chambers. So for those of you who are aware, that note is referencing events that will take place in Resident Evil 0, which is a game that's story takes place before the events. I mean, like literally the day before the events of the very first Resident Evil. So even back at this point in, like, I guess 98, they were already thinking ahead to Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil Code Veronica. In fact, I do remember hearing that Resident Evil 0 was originally going to be an N64 title. I don't know what happened there, but we would eventually get it on the GameCube. Now we're in Chief Iron's horrible torture chamber dungeon taxidermy lab. Got Sherry with us. Sherry, don't look in the corner. And we have file 14 of 16, Chris's report. Dear Chief, below is my account of what led up to the explosion of the mansion. On July 23rd, STAR's Bravo team, led by Captain Marini, went to investigate the bizarre homicides that occurred in the Arklay Mountains. After contact with the team's chopper was lost, STAR's Alpha team, led by Captain Wesker, went in. We found the remains of Bravo team's helicopter on the ground. After landing, we were immediately attacked by bloodthirsty dogs. We later discovered that these dogs were actually zombie dogs, as they did not even feel our gunfire. After Joseph Frost was killed, we were forced to retreat to a nearby mansion. After further investigating the mansion, we learned that it was actually a secret laboratory of Umbrella. All researchers were turned into zombies by some type of unknown virus. We also discovered that Umbrella was using that lab as a testing area for new bioorganic weapons. We found the dead bodies of some of the Bravo team members, including Enrico Marini, Kenneth Sullivan, Forrest Speyer, and Richard Aiken. We believe that those bioorganic weapons caused their deaths. After that, we discovered that Captain Wesker was actually working with Umbrella, and both the Alpha and Bravo teams were being used as live test subjects for the bioorganic weapons. Wesker had betrayed us. We barely managed to survive that nightmare. However, since the mansion exploded, there is no evidence to support our claims of Umbrella's secret lab or the bioorganic weapons. The zombie phenomenon that has been occurring in the city is extremely similar to the zombies we saw at the mansion. We suspect that Umbrella is somehow linked to all of this. In order to solve this mystery and put an end to the zombies that are roaming the city, I propose we launch a formal investigation into Umbrella. Thank you for your attention to this extremely important matter. Chris Redfield, STAR's Alpha Team. Well, Claire, now you know what your brother has been up to, and now you have a better idea what's happening in the city. This time we are in the sewers, not too far from where we got our last note, and we're in this little corner here where we found the wolf medal. If we check this body here, we get file 3 of 16, Operation Instructions. Orders for Special Agent Hunk are as follows. Penetrate Umbrella Research Facility located outside of Raccoon City. Recover G-Virus sample from Dr. William Birkin. You are authorized to use any means necessary to secure this sample. Upon recovery, sample is to be delivered to Lorry Village. Failure on this mission is not an option. French Division, Research and Development Head Manager, Christine Henry, or maybe Christine Henry. Alright, so now we're in the monitor room for the turntable. Our note is around here somewhere. There we go. File 15 of 16. The Want Ad. New positions available. Umbrella Inc. Raccoon Branch full-time, includes benefits. Who are we? We are the #1 pharmaceutical company in the world. We are constantly researching for new ways to expand and grow. What are we looking for? We're looking for healthy, dedicated, and single individuals of any race, religion, or sex. Positions available, sales, service, productions, etc. Requirements, no experience needed, but you must have a clean bill of health. Overseas positions are also available. Please note this on your application. So yeah, they're looking to hire people, if you need a job. Okay, so we're down in the laboratory, and our next note is right here on this table. It's file 13 of 16, the Mother Virus Report. The Mother Virus was first discovered by Oswell E. Spencer, and it was him who founded Umbrella Incorporated. As time passed, Spencer's research was succeeded to Dr. J. Marcus. However, Dr. Marcus abused his power and had to be fired. Dr. Marcus is a character that would be introduced in Resident Evil 0, so once again, they were kind of looking ahead to that. Following Dr. Marcus came Dr. William Birkin. Dr. Birkin's experiments delivered many outstanding results, including the T-virus. It is presumed that he'll be finishing work on the more powerful G-virus in the near future. Currently, research on the mother virus takes place at our laboratories all over the world. In the near future, we hope to discover many new viruses. So that's sort of just a little bit of background on where the T-virus sort of sprang from. Well, here we are. We're going to pick up our final note. We're currently in, I think this is the culture room or something like that. This is the room that you can't get in unless you've registered your fingerprints with both characters and brought them to the machine outside to use their fingerprints. In this version of the game, the password to use the computer to register your fingerprints is Nemesis instead of Guest. So let's look at our final file. File 2 of 16, the MA 121 Progress Report. As a result of the scheduled product improvement plans for the MA 120, production of the latest multi-purpose bow, MA 121 Hunter has been completed. Although the Hunter has demonstrated high performance, exceeding expectations as a bow, in the interest of producing improved products with higher levels of usability and enhanced power, Hunter R and additional enhanced bows are currently under development. There should be no shortage of practical applications for current products under development. William Bergen. So there you go. That is all 16 extra EX files that you can find only in the Nintendo 64 version of Resident Evil 2. Now, if we go to our menu here and look at our files, right here we have a folder for all our EX files. Since we found all 8 of them in Scenario A and all 8 of them in Scenario B, we have access to all 18 of them that we can read anytime we like. Now, if I start the game over, though, we'll have to recollect all the EX files. I believe that also includes, completing the game and then starting a new game from Leon A. But that's all of it. This was a nice little addition that they thought to put into the Nintendo 64 version of Resident Evil 2. And honestly, I think I would have liked to have seen it carry over to other versions as well. But, sometimes you get what you get. But I do appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this further encourages you to go out and try some of the old Resident Evil games. See you in the next game.